This week we have a massive crash in Race A. Race B sees me get punted in the rear, which is not very nice. And Race C, oh my word, we have a cracking final lap. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gran Turismo weekly race guide here in 2022. It's week 31 this week. And my word, do we have an interesting week this week. So race A, you can see we're at Bathurst and we're in group 3. Yes, an interesting combo indeed. Let's have a look at exactly what we're doing here at Bathurst. We're racing 5 laps then. It's a rolling start, which is a bit rubbish. Racing hard tyres, tyres on fuel and tyre wear. And interestingly, a bop is on, but the high-speed bops, yes. They've brought in the 3 bops that I talked about ages ago. It's finally in. Let's hope that they can just use that then to really control the cars going forward in updates to really get them close together. There are some timestamps in the background if you want to check those out. If you want to skip race A, go to race B, or maybe race C. Use them wisely, you know, click there, go back, do whatever you like in this video. It's here for you to look at the races you want to see. Without further ado then, let's jump into this one. Let's have a look exactly what happens because there is a big crash. Here we are then at the start. So we've got a Beetle in pole and P2 as well. Supra's there. Got KIE in here. Check out KIE on the old YouTube. We got Consta. We got Geriatric in here as well. In this. Whoa! Silhouette, my word. Yeah, we got close there to Geriatric. And yeah, the gear I've not even tried that car yet, but the gear changes look horrendous. So I'm glad I'm not using that car. And we're clean through on Geriatric. So through the left hand, there we go. Out and off up this straight then. I think it's hell straight. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure it's hell straight though. We're going to advance towards the end of lap 1 because nothing much has happened. We've fallen behind massively just from the way the rolling start is. Thank you. But even so, we have a spin up ahead. Yellow flag. That is a Supra. That is RRC Lion. So we're going to go down the inside here, breaking into turn 1. Quite a tight line here for me, so I'm going to have to really slow the car down. Beautiful move, I would say so. But the Supra's going to come back at me. Obviously, the Supra does have nitrous. We are very well aware of that with the speed that that car can go. So I'm going to keep to the inside here, make sure that they are not getting that inside. I am keeping this inside line. As you can see, they're catching in towards this break-in then. And we're going to keep it. Oh, we've got a yellow flag up ahead. Who's... oh, Constant's had an incident. Oh, so is the Swiss driver there as well. Through down the inside. That's another position here as we go into this left-hand KIE involved in that as well, I would guess. I'll put some bloopers at the end, of course, that you'll be able to see, and we'll look at all the action that happens, including a plebby pit stop from me later on. But we'll get to that when we see it. So, through this hill section then, KIE just struggling in that Ford GT as we go over the crest of that. I'm in the Ford Mustang, by the way. I didn't talk about the Mustang, but it was as good as the Supra in the past. It's just not at the top end, so that's why I'm using this. Through the left we go, and everyone slows up. John goes slow. Everyone into the back of each other. Supra on the outside, so I back out this quite early. Oh, the Supra into Consta. We've got KIE into John Doe. Oh, Consta's still around, and we gain lots of positions as KIE leaves. Lot wings. 4-second penalty, which I would say he's probably deserved there. Breaking too late into that crest of the hill. Into Consta. Probably Consta maybe tapped KIE. I'm not too sure. I'd have to revisit that to be sure. But yeah. Wow, what a big incident that was. We benefited. Happy days. P5. Got P4 up ahead as well. This is going to be a good result, hopefully, especially with that dodgy start. So we've got Migo in the Beetle. I wouldn't choose the Beetle. In fact, I wouldn't choose an MR car here. They will be very deadly. So choose that at your peril. Now, I was going to go around the outside, but I got scared. I had best of British memories there where I went off to the realms. So I did back out of that, and I kind of was thinking, I can just get this Beetle on the straight. The Mustang is quick, you know. It's American muscle. We've got to remember this. American muscle is fast in a straight line. It just doesn't do corners, apparently. Anyway, into the left we go. Beetle doesn't like the curbs, so clean on through we go. I didn't want to overtake here, but we're through, and hopefully we can hold it on the straight. So heading towards turn 1 then. It's lap guide time. You're braking just after the 100-meter board. There is a photographer there that most people don't like me using, so I've not pointed it out. So just after the 100-meter board, it's probably around 80 meters or so. That's when you're going to brake. It's better to brake early here than late, so don't brake close to that 50-meter board. Maximum halfway in between the 100 and the 50. I'm just going to fast forward here because it's a straight line and you know how to do those. In towards this right-hander then, you've got that piece of tarmac on the left-hand side. You want to brake a bit earlier than normal for this one because you're on the hard tyres. So I'm braking at the start of it. Don't brake at the end of it because you will go wide. If you're on the outside line there, you will end up meeting Barry R into the realms. Maybe you head to Narnia, I'm not too sure. Anyway, heading up the hill, you want to lift a little bit here, and as that piece of white line goes straight there, you can see that you're going to brake heavily then to drop the gears. I mean, going down to second gear in this Mustang. Other cars will vary. It depends what you're using, but the Mustang second gear, you want to get on the inside line. You will get a bit of wheel spin on the exit. Be careful of that. And as you leave there, you should settle the car down. That tree on the right-hand side, it's a beautiful tree. Make sure it doesn't disappear. It's your turn-in marker. So as that hits the edge of your screen, turn in. You might want to lift off as well, just to make sure you do turn in. As you see, I'll lift off a little bit here. Make sure I don't get understeer. And I'm just going to clip the barrier on the left-hand side because we all love a good kiss. So through here, I'm going to lift off a little bit, clip that curb, head over towards the right-hand side, and just before this curb, which is on the crest of the hill, you're going to lift off to settle the car, make sure the car is flat, so as it goes over the hill, it doesn't lift up, take off, do whatever you think it would do. Here we go, round we go, look at that, nice and easily, it's so settled, it's lovely, that's what you want to do. Right, heading down the hill, I've highlighted the IDR8 sign. You're braking before this. But I've also highlighted the corner there. You're aiming for that. So as you brake, you're going to understeer a little bit. So you will miss it. But you're aiming for that corner there. And then as you go in a straight line, you brake. And then brake in a straight line again. And that's how you slow the car down. Now, as you head to this dipper here, you turn just before the curb ends on that right-hand side. Turn in. I'm dabbing the brakes a little bit here. Just slow the car down. Stay in third gear in the Mustang. If you go to second, you will be drifting. You do not want to drift in this car. You want to be settled. Nice. Going through the hill. And then on the right side here, just before this right-hander, you're going to brake. This is where you're going to lose a lot of speed because you want to get as far right as possible as you head down the hill into Forest Elbow. You get towards the right-hand side, then hit the brakes, and you notice how I turn in here. Don't do what I'm about to do now, which is go on the throttle way too quickly and get a bit of oversteer. This is still my fastest lap, so I'm showing you this for a reason, but 202 is very much possible, as you can see by CalStep. Heading towards this left-hander here, Signavent. Sign event, obviously with Signavent is from the old sport mode. 150 meter board, the V in that word. Use that as your brake marker. It's a lovely brake marker. You can't wipe out that billboard. So I use third gear going through here. You can drop to second and quickly to third. That will work as well in this Mustang as we head down towards the last corner then. And on the right side, we have another big tree. Use the tree as it hits the edge of your screen. That is when you're going to brake. Second gear in the Mustang. It does like a bit of wheel spin in second gear, so be careful. Be very, very careful. But second gear, through we go. Avoid that curb on the left, and we continue on out. Max Power, the absolute crazy person that he is, literally using the Lamborghini. Now, I would not be using that Lamborghini in a month for Sundays, so well played to you. That is going to be it in terms of race A then. I do hope you enjoyed it. You might be able to have the odd good bit of racing here, but there will be a little bit of carnage going over the hill because it's 5 laps in a sprint race, technically. And you want to get past everybody. So the straight is the best place to overtake. That's it anyway for race A. I'm going to shut up about it now. Let's head to race B, where we're at a circuit I don't particularly like. However, in this combo, I do like it. I think it actually works quite well. Now, what are we doing here? Well, you can see we're also in the Mazda MX-5 touring car, which is quite drifty in GT7 versus GT Sport, where it was very understeery. So it makes for quite a good combo, if I'm honest with you. Now, what are we exactly doing here? That is the question. Well, we're racing 7 laps here at Autopolis Short Circuits. It's a rolling start, which is just about okay. Sports hard tyres, tyres 1, fuel and tyre wear, and the bop is on, and we're on the medium speed for this one. I don't know how they selected these combos in terms of bop, but even so, it's fixed, it's all good. You jump in this MX-5 touring car, and off you go, and enjoy it. Without further ado then, let's jump straight into this race because this race, I think, is the best race of the week. I think you're going to have some fantastic racing here at the Autopolis Short Circuit. Here we are then at the grid. We've got a fair few TCR members in this one. We've got Player, we've got Cy Dobson. Let's see what we can do here. Oh, the livery as well. Rascal. This is a beautiful livery. Thank you so much for this. In terms of the liveries for TCR, by the way, check out the website. I am putting them on there as we go. The MX-5 will be on there at some point at the end of this week. Use in the future, obviously, the liveries are going on as we go each and every week. Now, we're starting this race, and obviously line astern for the rolling start because the rolling start's about 3 years long in terms of difference between cars. But we get a good exit out of turn 1, so we're already on the back of Cole here. So we're going to head to the left-hand side, then in towards this braking zone. Cole actually goes a bit deeper here. Going to go for the cutback if we can get a bit of oversteer just off the brake. Slight contact there, but I would say that was clean in the grand scheme of it. They were just a bit slow through the corner. There's got JD Devlin then on the right-hand side. Just give them room there in towards this braking zone. They stop it. Can't get the cutback this time. A little tap there, so we just back out of that a little bit. Let them continue on because that was our fault indeed. In towards this left-hander then. They go very tight into that. That's going to be a bit too iffy there. don't actually maintain any speed there at all by going that tight. Oh, no! Size off towards the left-hand side. Oh, I'll talk about that corner later on. It is a sketchy corner as we look for the move on Jay Devlin then down the inside in towards this braking zone. Easy job done. As you see the oversteer here. This car, quite oversteer. It's a very fun car. I say it's oversteer. It's a very fun car to drive this. It really is. As we advance a bit further on then, catch up to this battle between the Spaniard and the Brit then in towards this braking zone. And who's that? Could do better. Is about to get tapped by Chess 33. Oh, they lost the rear end. In fact, did they catch it? Oh, they caught it in the end. Well played. Could do better as we continue on into this left-hander then. So I think that was just a racing incident in the grand scheme. Oh, got yellow flag again. Oh, it's another one. Another one bites the dust. That is Joe off there. That corner is sketchy. I will talk about it in the lap guide. It's a very sketchy corner, and you do have to get it right properly, and I will talk about that. Oh, that was early on the brakes for Chester. Could have gone for that move, I think, there in towards that right-hander, but we didn't. It would have been a dive, but I think it would have been a clean dive. It definitely would have made the apex, that is for sure. And we continue on out then, still in P7. Now, can we get a good result here? We're only 6 seconds off the lead, which isn't that much in the grand scheme of it. So we are in the slipstream then. Slipstream not that big here, which is good. I don't mind it when it's not that big, because it means dirty air is smaller as well, which is what I want. I don't want dirty air. In towards this braking zone we go. Chess defense on the inside. Beautiful defensive driving there from Chess 33 as we get the run out of that corner then. And there's just... Now, Chess, very well played here. Takes into account ping there. Perfect play there from Chess in towards this braking zone then side by side. We need to get it stopped. We do indeed. Brilliant racing with Chess there. Shout out to you, Chess. That was beautiful racing. Big shout out for that one. And now we've got the Greek of Storaf up ahead. Now they're struggling a little bit in this car. They just brake a bit early here, but you can see that car constantly drifting. Now, critically in this car, when you're braking, you're going to have to be careful on the brakes. You want to roll off the brakes rather than just come off them instantly. That's when the car starts spitting and doing all sorts. Now, looking down the inside into this left hand, we're going to have to be very careful here as we go on the power. Well held by the Greek around the outside. We do get that position now up into P5 then. Not too shabby at all as we head towards this last corner. Now, I was a bit concerned here because they'd been braking in a bit of a weird way. I did expect them to come back at me in the brakes, and they did. You can see that in the rear view, and they get a slight tap there. Now, that's them just struggling to drive the car. That's not them being dirty. Chest as well. Beautiful drive. Honestly, shout out to Chest. My driver of the week this week, Chest. Well played. That was beautiful. Gave me enough room there on the exit as well. Superb stuff. Anyway, yeah, from the Greek there, they were just struggling to drive the car, and as they've come off the brakes there, they've just lost it a little bit and not realised the slowing down. They weren't driving dirty there. It's just a bit of bad driving where they've just got it wrong. And they did give me the position back as well, so, you know, fair play to the Greek. Now, just overtaking the German there, Radafella 81, and, yeah, they sort of went to the left. They just got a bit of a bad exit out of that corner. Now, we catch up to Nick then. Now, Nick, I did notice, was struggling a little bit on the brakes here. So, as we come in towards his left-hander, we get a go. Oh, a bit drifty, but we get a good run. Nick has understeered off, unfortunately, for Nick. Stays towards the right-hand side. We're going to go towards the left-hand side then. I was a bit concerned about braking, but there was no need to worry there from Nick. Now, lap guide time. You want to know how to do this circuit, don't you? Well, head towards turn 1. Just after the 100-meter board is a painted orange barrier on the left-hand side. It's a beautiful barrier. Use this to your... Well, use it to nail your lap, basically. I don't know what I was about to say. So, you brake there. Roll off the brakes. Third gear. Stay in third gear for this corner. If you drop to second, you'll get tons of oversteer. Third gear, it just goes in the power band. It's beautiful. Third gear for turn 1. Turn 2, then. We have the painted orange barrier on the left, which you can use if you want to. However, I use this tarmac there on the left, and I've highlighted. And I'm braking just after this, in towards this braking zone. Third gear again. Now, this is all about balancing the car. You notice how the car oversteered a bit. Came off the brakes a bit too quick. So into him, just balancing the car around that 70 miles an hour marker, trying to get it round. And then as I leave here, I'm going to put my foot down a little bit and then brake just at the end of the curb in here on the right-hand side. This corner, you do need second gear, so you have to be very careful with this oversteer as you leave this corner. So, second gear, we saw that with you could do better earlier on. So, second gear, you want to straighten up as best as you can. As you see there, a little bit of oversteer. That's what you get. So, you're going to have to be very careful with that second gear. As you head to this fast left-hander, you got the curb there. At the start of that curb, you just start turning left and slowly lift off. As you can see there, I've hardly got any throttle on at all. Now, you want to stay a little bit on throttle if you can to really maintain this, as you see that I'm trying to. And then as you come around this corner, when you see that, that is your accelerating marker. Now, you see I've done it a bit earlier here just because I've got used to the car. Stay in third gear. Now, you are going to get oversteer in this car because you're getting towards the top end of the power band, so it will want to oversteer. This is where people were spinning. Be very careful, especially as you clip the grass, you'll spin even more, obviously. So be careful on the exit there. You might want to just be like 90% throttle. Head towards this last corner then. You can either use the marshal box on the right hand side, it's just after that, or just before the arrow on the left hand side. Pick and choose which one you want to use here, and you're going to drop to second gear. Now again, second gear, the car gets very sketchy into this corner. If you brake too late, you're going to have to crest of the hill as well. It'll get all unsettled and weird, so you have to be very careful. As you go into that corner, you'll get oversteer, and as you leave, you'll get oversteer. You have to straighten the car very, very quickly. Be careful on that. This, however, is a beautiful race. Honestly, do try this race out. I think this is going to be some fantastic racing here this week. Now, we do catch up to Captain Stupendous, but you remember that oversteer I was talking about? That's what you get if you try and push a little bit too hard. And I went off, but I managed to catch it there. Captain Stupendous, beautiful, beautiful P2 there. Congratulations to John in P1. And yeah, we get on the podium. Not too shabby at all, starting from the back of the grid. I'll take that. I thoroughly enjoyed this race. It's a beautiful race. I say, do check it out. You're going to have some fantastic racing here this week. You really, really, really are. There will be a few contacts, but as I say, enjoy it. Some good driving control available here to improve on. Just check it out. Race B is my go-to race this week. Anyway, we're done now. Race B, I've pumped it up enough. Let's head to Race C. Now, we're at Brands Hatch for this one, which does mean overtaking a little bit more tricky normally. And I say normally because we're in Group 4, which does mean the cars are a little bit smaller, which does mean we can go a little bit more side by side. They're a bit slower. It does allow more overtaking, so potentially another good race here for you. Let's have a look at those details first, because I'm not too happy with these. So we're racing 12 laps here at Brands Hatch. It's a rolling start. Never iffy rolling start, to be honest with you. Racing medium and hard tyres. The hard are required. Critical, we'll talk about that in a second. Times 7 fuel, times 1 tyre wear. And the bop is on the medium speed again, which sounds about okay. I would have maybe thought it was high speed, but I'm not too sure how they define medium and high speed. So I chose the Renault Megane Trophy. That's because KIE was using it. So I was like, excellent. Okay, I don't have to pick any other car because it's got the perfect amount of fuel. It was times 7 fuel, perfect amount of fuel for this race. Let's jump to the race then, and I'll talk about it a little bit more because the strategy, not so much there. We are then at the start. You see a lot of Megane trophies. We've got Genesis in there. We've got the Alfa Romeo. A few Swifts in there. Now, Swift was fairly up there in terms of the leaderboard, but I wasn't really expecting the tyres to last. Even on times 1, it's still an FF car at the end of the day, but I didn't really try it, so maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. The Megane Trophy definitely works, and this is what we're using. So this is actually my second race. We'll talk about the first race in the bloopers afterwards, because you'll probably laugh at it if I'm honest with you. I was very much a pleb. Right, we're going to continue on here. We've got a race against Slippery Racer. Slippery indeed. Let's see what we can do here. In towards turn 1 we go. And no change there. Now, fuel obviously is a bit of a factor, but you can just get to the end in the Megane Trophy, which is excellent. You might have to short shift a tiny bit at some point, or be in slipstream, and you will be fine. But down the inside at Druids, job done there. So at the end of lap 1, if you're on the hards, you're going to come in the pits, because times 1 tyre wear. Why would you stay out on the hards? You just use them once and come in. And the pit stop is fairly quick. Be careful on entry, by the way. Remember, you do have penalties for crossing that white line. Same for the exit as well. Don't go too far to the left. 10 seconds, the penalty. It's not a penalty, it's a pit stop. Around 10 seconds, so you don't really lose that much in the grand scheme of it. So I was on a fast lap here. I was like, excellent, I'm catching up to the group ahead. But apparently I wanted to go into the sands because I wanted to build castles. Castles in the sky. No, we don't. Let's not sing that. Anyway, we continue on lap 5 now. Not much has happened here. Although we get a yellow flag. What's happened in the distance? I suspect wind has actually entered the realm there and actually leaves the lobby. We go to lap 9. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 9 is when we actually can up. No, we don't can up. We catch up to the action here. Ash gets it all wrong out of Druids. I'm not sure whether they pushed off there or not. To go down the inside, really, really, really hard line to take that. I was so tight, but we get the job done. Stops on the apex. Happy days. Jobs are good uns. So up next we have Joan. In fact, we've got a lap guide as well. So turn 1 is where the marshal box is on the left hand side. It's just after the 2 board. You're going to brake, turn in. You sort of want to bounce the car, and then when you've clicked the curb is when you normally accelerate. You notice here, and then I accelerate after the curb there. Beautiful stuff. So Joan then looking to defend. Now that's a very late defense by Joan. You really can't do that if the person's already alongside. Yeah, it's a bit iffy. Anyway, the braking zone for Druids is the yellow painted barrier. Not yellow, it's orange. Orange painted barrier on the left hand side. Use that as your brake marker. Now I actually do this corner in 3rd gear most of the time. 2nd gear is because I'm on a tighter line, but 3rd gear does work as well. So I would use 3rd gear and it'll save you a bit of fuel as well. Now on the right hand side, you've got the curb there. To start the curb is your braking marker for Graham Hill. This is Graham Hill Bend. So you want to brake a little bit early here. You want to click the inside, accelerate through. Be careful going on this curb here. It can get a little bit oversteery there. So just be very, very careful. Now, on the right-hand side of this next corner, we have the one board or the green painted bit at the end of the barrier. Pick and choose whichever one you like. Someone might wipe out the one board, but hey, you've got paint there. Paint can't be wiped out very easily unless they've got paint stripper. And they don't have that. So you want to get on the inside here. Just after that white line is when you accelerate through the corner, and you should make that safe and sound as we chase Mighty Clipper. I'm getting your name right there. Apologies. So, nice, easy bit on this straight. And on the right-hand side is what you're looking for. And it's the orange painted barrier right there. It's in the shadow at the moment, so it looks a bit more darker. But it is orange. It is painted. And it's a very good marker. And you can use this in any class of car. So, just after that, you brake, you turn in. You normally accelerate when you clip the curb there. Be careful on exit. The curb does shrink, so you can spin out there. And then on the left-hand side, once again, you have the orange painted barrier. There's lots of these at Brands Hatch. They're brilliant. Again, use that as your brake marker. As that hits the edge of your screen, that is when you're going to brake. Obviously, adjust depending on your camera angle. Clip the curb on the inside, accelerate through the corner. Clipper just gets that slightly wrong here, so I go on the left-hand side through Dingle Dell and heading towards this right-hander here. You're looking for the one board. Just after that one board leaves your screen in the McGann Trophy. Other cars obviously may vary. Just after it leaves your screen, that's when you brake, turn in. It's fourth gear. You use a lot of the curb there on the right-hand side and continue on through. Heading towards that right-hand side then. You got Bill and Brian, the marshals there in the marshal box, or just outside it actually. But a beautiful marker all the same, and nobody's wiping out those two. The proper hard them, even if they get hit by a car, they're surviving. So yes, they brake, or use them as your brake marker as we continue on then and head towards that left hand side of the circuit. And just before the one board, you're going to brake. Stay in fourth gear for this corner. I highly advise it. If you're going to third, you might get a bit of oversteer. And yeah, you're going to stay in fourth gear. Clip the inside. You can actually abuse the track limits there a little bit and go a bit over onto the grass there and continue on through as the Suzuki comes in. Now, you see Steph is in the pits. That's the Subaru. And also the Suzuki. Definitely struggling on fuel. So the McGann Trophy looks like the car to go to. And Steph had a penalty there as we come into this corner then. So lots of cars up ahead. We've got some racing action on this last lap. Well, we'll say that. The Lamborghini is into the pits. And we continue on. We've got side-by-side racing action with Steph 41 here then. What can we do with the French driver in towards turn one? And yeah, we're just breaking a little bit late here on the outside of Paddock Hill. Not the best place to be, and Steph keeps that position for now. Well played, Steph, in towards the braking zone then. And it's status quo for now. This is that third gear I was talking about. You can use it leaving the corner. Now, we're a bit bogged down there just because we were behind somebody. You can do it a little bit quicker than that. But it just bogs and then it's fine. So that's what you got to carry. So you carry more speed, you should be fine as you go through that corner. Right, what can we do here versus Steph then? In towards this braking zone. So I'm looking for that white line. And as I see it, I accelerate. Happy days. Job's a good one. And we're right close to this Subaru. Those the quad exhaust on the Subaru. Let's hear that boxer engine, or let's not. Let's just get past it. So we're getting closer slowly but surely. Looking down the inside there. Definitely going to be the last of the late breakers here. In we go. We slow it down. Beautiful racing there with Steph. Very well played with that sort of move coming. And yeah, jobs are good. And as we head towards that line, we're going to hit 0 laps remaining. Infinity runs out at the line. But we finish in the end in P5. So KIE there gets on the podium. Well played, KIE. Check out KIE, by the way. KIE25 usually streaming on this Monday as I do the videos as well. Ash gets a penalty there. Maybe forgot that they had to go on the hard tyre at some point. Not too sure because they're in the McGann Trophy. But in terms of race C, you can have some good racing here, don't get me wrong, but I think the gaps are going to be too large and it will be a McGann Trophy fest easily by even the end of today because that is the go-to car. Now, it's not over for this video. Remember, we have bloopers and I have the crash to look at from race A, and also you get to see my first race of race C. Let's jump to them now. Right, here we go then. We're on board the Swiss driver. Let's have a look exactly what happens. So in the distance then, oh, John hits the barrier. So that's why we all Constantine are up. They go around the outside of me. Oh, they clip. Oh, so yeah, they clip Constantine. It clipped John, which then also caused issues with KIE as well. Yeah, all been a bit carnagey, really. It was sort of domino effect. But I will say this. Look at this. This is beautiful. This is good sportsmanship. They realise they've caused a massive incident and they just wait up there. Let's have a look at it from the TV camera because I think it's a quality crash. Let's be honest with you. You've got 2 into barrier, got Consta spinning around like a yo-yo. Beautiful stuff. Right, let's go to race B then. Let's see what happened to Cy Dobson first of all. So going through here, very sketchy corner. Did exactly what I've talked about in the lap guide. On the throttle, and the car just went unstable, and wheel spin there for... Oh, who's that? Oh, no, TCR player, what happened to you? Let's have a look at you then, as we go into this left-hander. So, what happens? Oh, there's a tap there on the rear. Cole, oh, Cole, come on. That's just bad driving, man. He just pushed player straight off there. Sorry to see that player. Oh, I don't like that kind of stuff. I don't like seeing that. Now, we did see somebody else off, and Joe was the person who was off. The leader of the race. Oh, dropped it on the grass. They dropped it on the grass. Oh, that is a bottle. We have a bottle job there. That's unfortunate. Right, race C then. So looking at bottle jobs. Check this out. So, lap 1, I was like, oh, I might as well come in the pits. Oh, well, I saw somebody ahead going. I was like, hey, come in. And I was like, oh, no, the white line thing. I better come back on the circuit. So I came on nice and slow. Clipper decides to go through me because apparently it was a ghost. So yeah, I gave myself the 3-second penalty instead of the game. Anyway, I did pit on the next lap and then carried on. And then I clipped the gravel here, got unstable. I was just like, no, forget this one. Can't really continue this one because that was a bit dodgy. So I decided to exit the race then. So let's have a look at what happened to wind. I went and did race A and then came back to C. As you know, this is the second C. So wind comes through here. Oh, a little bit on the... oh, clips gravel and heads into barrier there as well. Another mistake. So a few people making mistakes, including myself. Always interesting to see. And then wind leads as well. And we get this excellent camera. Why can't we have these static cameras everywhere? This looks so good. But folks, that is it for today's video. I do hope you've enjoyed it. Do check out this week. As I said, race B is my go-to race this week. There are 2 videos there to check out. Please do check them out. My logo's there if you want to subscribe. And please do give it a like on the way out. While it costs you nothing, it means everything to the channel. I'll say that's it now, folks. Au revoir, farewell, and goodbye.